The Sopranos, 1999 to 2007, wasn't just a groundbreaking TV series, it was a cultural phenomenon that redefined modern television. While the show gave us iconic characters, intense storylines, and unforgettable moments, the real lives of some of its cast members were marked by heartbreak and tragedy. Several actors who brought the world of Tony Soprano to life have sadly passed away, many under shocking or deeply emotional circumstances. From sudden heart attacks and cancer battles to lives lost too young due to addiction or personal struggles, their stories deserve to be remembered. In this video, we take a closer look at the Sopranos stars who have tragically died, honoring their lives, talents, and the legacy they left behind. James Gandolfini was born on September 18, 1961, and took on the role of Tony Soprano in 1999 at age 38. His character was a masterstroke, menacing yet mentally unraveling, a mafia boss who cried in therapy and strangled enemies with his bare hands. Behind that layered performance was a man waging a war with himself. Gandolfini's rise was meteoric, but fame made him recoil. He walked off set, vanished mid-production, and raged against the pressures of stardom. He was once sued for failing to appear on The Sopranos due to what insiders whispered was a multi-day drug binge. His first marriage ended in acrimony, with allegations of erratic behavior. A hidden cocaine habit, binge drinking, and depression haunted him for years, culminating in erratic outbursts even during award season. Castmates confessed he could be distant and volatile. Though he later remarried and attempted sobriety, years of damage had been done. He died suddenly in Rome on June 19, 2013, aged 51, from a heart attack. His 13-year-old son found him collapsed in their hotel bathroom. Frank Pellegrino was born May 19, 1944, and took on the role of FBI Chief Frank Cubitoso in 1999 at age 55. Cubitoso was sharp, methodical, and always one step ahead, a mirror of Pellegrino's no-nonsense demeanor. But his off-screen reputation was a mix of charm and calculated exclusivity. As co-owner of Rouse, he famously banned A-listers, including Leonardo DiCaprio, for violating his unwritten rules of respect. His ruthlessness extended to the kitchen, where he allegedly fired waiters mid-shift for minor infractions. Some insiders claimed Pellegrino used Rouse as a power tool, demanding favors in exchange for a coveted seat. Despite his smile, he held grudges and was known to end friendships over gossip. His relationship with his son was strained, and he reportedly disapproved of his career choices. Behind the aura of old-school elegance was a man who fought to stay relevant. He died of lung cancer on January 31, 2017, in Manhattan, age 72. Tony Sirico was born July 24, 1942, and began playing Paulie Walnut in 1999 at age 57. On screen, Paulie was a loudmouthed enforcer, superstitious and blindly loyal, a comedic yet brutal relic of the old mob. Off-screen, Sirico's criminal record was no act. Before acting, he was arrested 28 times, once for carrying a pistol during a nightclub raid. He served time in Sing Sing, where he discovered acting while watching a prison theater troupe. His past was peppered with violence, mafia ties, and rumors of real-life hits he'd narrowly dodged. Known for being difficult, he insisted in his contract that his character never betray the mob, reflecting his own code. Sirico was intensely private, never married, and rumors swirled about his mob connections, especially his early years in Bensonhurst. Castmates respected but feared him. He could flip from charming to menacing in seconds. He suffered from dementia in his final years and died on July 8, 2022, in Florida, at age 79. Frank Vincent was born April 15, 1937, and joined The Sopranos in 2004 as Phil Leotardo at age 67. Phil was ice-cold, calculated, remorseless, driven by vengeance. Vincent didn't have to reach far for that energy. Known for playing gangsters in Goodfellas and Casino, his typecasting became a curse. Despite early fame as a musician and actor, he struggled to land roles outside the mafia mold. He was bitter about being overlooked by Hollywood and once accused casting directors of racial stereotyping. In private, he was outspoken and egotistical, often clashing with producers. His memoir was packed with machismo, offering questionable advice on how to dominate women and command fear. Rumors persisted of his mistreatment of co-stars and explosive temperament on set. Though no major scandals were ever confirmed, those who worked with him recalled his quick temper and ego. He died on September 13, 2017, aged 80, after complications from heart surgery. John Cha-Cha Charcha was born May 24, 1940, and began playing Albanese in Floney in 2006, at age 66. Albie was the quiet connoisseur, level-headed, loyal, with a street wisdom that demanded respect. In real life, Charcha blurred the lines between fiction and reality, cultivating deep ties with alleged mobsters while running his notorious Mulberry Street restaurant, Cha-Cha's. He was linked to shady business dealings and rumored to use his eatery for underground poker nights frequented by wise guys and wannabes. A staple of the downtown scene, he allegedly helped launder money through small-time productions, though nothing was ever proven. His marriage was marked by infidelity, and he fathered a child in secret during the 1980s. Despite his larger-than-life persona, his final years were marked by declining health and estrangement from former allies. He died on November 21, 2015, at age 75, following a brief illness. Tom Aldred was born February 28, 1928, and joined The Sopranos in 2000 as Hugh DeAngelis at age 72. Hugh was the sardonic father-in-law, sharp-tongued and wary of Tony's influence. Aldridge's career was rooted in Broadway, where he earned 5 Tony nominations. But his TV journey was fraught with missed opportunities. A classically trained actor, he resented the rise of Hollywood fame over theatrical craft and was known to clash with directors over creative decisions. Privately, he battled chronic illness and watched his wife, famed costume designer Leone Aldred, struggle with depression. Friends described him as reclusive and obsessive about legacy, constantly fearing he'd be forgotten. Although scandal never touched him directly, whispers of his controlling behavior in rehearsals followed him from project to project. He died quietly on July 22, 2011, aged 83 from lymphoma, his final scenes in Boardwalk Empire eerily echoing his own fading life. Peter Bogdanovich was born on July 30, 1939, and portrayed Dr. Elliot Kupferberg starting in 2000, at age 61. Kupferberg was smug, coldly logical, and more interested in theory than healing, an ironic reflection of Bogdanovich's own life, where brilliance often blurred with arrogance. While he was once a new Hollywood icon, his downfall came swift after a series of box office failures and accusations of nepotism. But the darkest chapter remains his obsessive relationship with Playboy model Dorothy Stratt, murdered by her estranged husband in 1980. Bogdanovich was devastated, but later married Dorothy's much younger sister Louise, a decision widely condemned and seen as predatory. His career never fully recovered. Estranged from Hollywood and increasingly broke, he sold his home and relied on friends like Quentin Tarantino for support. He died on January 6, 2022, at age 82, from natural causes. Nancy Marshon was born June 19, 1928, and began her role as Livia Soprano in 1999 at age 71. Livia was emotionally toxic, a manipulative mother who fed her son's neuroses like poison. That cold presence mirrored some of Marshon's own detachment. Though a revered actress, her personal life was marked by solitude. Married once, she rarely spoke of her private affairs. Her health rapidly declined during filming, with producers forced to ride around her illness. She filmed her final scenes tethered to oxygen, barely able to stand. She refused to let the press know how sick she was, preferring to die with dignity rather than sympathy. Behind the scenes, cast members noted her withdrawal and reported tension over her insistence on script rewrites. When she died from lung cancer and emphysema on June 18, 2000, just one day before her 72nd birthday, HBO controversially used CGI to extend her role posthumously, sparking backlash and ethical questions rarely discussed publicly. Suzanne Shepard was born on October 31, 1934, and played Mary DeAngelis in The Sopranos beginning in 2000, at the age of 66. As Carmela's domineering mother, Mary was the embodiment of Catholic guilt and generational pressure, an icy figure who disapproved of Tony and wielded passive-aggressive control over her daughter. While Shepard was celebrated for her teaching and stage direction, behind the scenes she was feared as much as she was admired. Known for emotional outbursts during rehearsals, she often alienated colleagues with her bluntness and fierce temper. A lifelong outsider in Hollywood, she clashed with directors, once walking off a production after accusing a male co-star of undermining her performance. Her only marriage ended in silence, and she never remarried, raising a daughter alone who reportedly distanced herself later in life. Close friends say she battled depression for decades and became reclusive in her final years. Shepard died on November 17, 2023, at age 89 from COPD and kidney failure. Greg Andachi, born February 2, 1947, took on the role of Butch DeConcini in 2006 at age 59. Butch was ruthless, precise, a cold executive of mob violence, and disturbingly, the role suited Andachi too well. Once a promising voice in New York theater, Greg's career faltered due to behind-the-scenes volatility. His notorious temper got him fired from multiple sets in the 80s, and his name quietly circulated on do-not-cast lists. Rumors swirled about volatile behavior, fights with producers, and a bizarre 1994 lawsuit alleging creative sabotage on a failed sitcom pilot. His marriage collapsed after accusations of verbal abuse, and his estranged daughter later revealed years of emotional neglect. Though The Sopranos offered late career redemption, Andachi remained difficult, clashing with writers over script direction. Despite the praise for his performance, many on set found him exhausting. He died on September 20, 2017, at age 70, his passing largely overlooked, much like his turbulent legacy. Paul Herman, born March 29, 1946, took on the role of Peter Beansy Gaeta in 2000 at the age of 54. As Beansy, he portrayed a man hardened by the streets, paralyzed by a violent mobster, yet still maintaining a quiet dignity, emblematic of old-school loyalty amid a ruthless world. Off-screen, Herman's life was entangled with both Hollywood royalty and underworld figures. He wasn't just an actor, but the co-owner of the legendary Columbus Cafe, a boozy midtown refuge where cops, mobsters, actors, and athletes all rubbed shoulders, sometimes not peacefully. Though he never faced public disgrace, insiders whisper of his deep gambling debts and rumored favors traded with real-life wise guys to clear them. His charming front masked a volatile streak, including bar fights and unpaid IOUs. Herman's Hollywood career often placed him in the shadow of De Niro and Scorsese, always cast as the guy behind a guy, never quite breaking out. He died on March 29, 2022, his 76th birthday, of undisclosed causes, leaving behind more stories than roles. David Margules, born February 19, 1937, joined The Sopranos in 2000 at age 63 as Neil Mink, Tony's lawyer. Neil was calm, calculated, and loyal, a stabilizing force amidst mafia madness. In stark contrast, Margules lived a life of contradictions. Though respected in Broadway circles, he was notoriously aloof and reportedly kept multiple personal lives. During the 70s, he was allegedly linked to blacklisted playwrights and under quiet FBI surveillance for political sympathies. In his final decade, Margules battled accusations of unpaid child support from a woman who claimed he fathered her son in the early 80s, an allegation he never publicly addressed. Professionally, he was bitter about being typecast as the Jewish dad and often rejected offers that didn't meet his highbrow tastes, resulting in years of unemployment. He was difficult in rehearsals, demanding rewrites, and threatening to walk out over inartistic dialogue. He died on January 11, 2016, from cancer, age 78, his quiet end belying a life filled with unspoken grievances. John Hurd, born March 7, 1946, debuted as Detective Vin Makazian in 1999 at age 53. Makazian was tormented and corrupt, a man unraveling under pressure. Fittingly, Hurd's real life echoed this chaos. Despite success in Home Alone, Hurd's career was derailed by personal demons. His stormy romance with actress Melissa Leo ended in abuse allegations and custody battles over their son, with police reports revealing a pattern of instability and arrests. In 1991, he was jailed for trespassing into Leo's home, and later faced public humiliation after a domestic violence charge, though it was eventually dropped. Hurd was difficult on set, moody, unreliable, and known for vanishing between takes. Friends describe him as a man always fighting ghosts. Despite a late-career resurgence with The Sopranos, his demons persisted. He was found dead in a hotel in Palo Alto on July 21, 2017, age 71, after a minor back surgery. Official cause: heart attack. Unofficial cause: years of emotional self-destruction. Joe Santos, born June 9, 1931, portrayed Angelo Garipe in The Sopranos in 2004 at age 73. Angelo was a nostalgic figure, a relic of mob honor codes. Off-screen, Santos embodied old-school masculinity, but not without controversy. After achieving fame in The Rockford Files, Santos became known for off-set drinking binges and a string of affairs that led to 2 bitter divorces. His heavy gambling habits reportedly led him into debt with real-life mob figures in the late 70s, a dangerous irony, considering his on-screen roles. Former co-stars described him as charismatic yet dangerous when drunk. In the early 2000s, Santos was nearly dropped from a project after an altercation with a female crew member, though the incident was kept quiet to protect reputations. His son later revealed their strained relationship, citing years of absence and disappointment. Santos died of a heart attack on March 18, 2016, at age 84, taking with him a lifetime of regret and an image far removed from the dignified characters he played. Robert Leone, born July 29, 1946, first appeared as Dr. Bruce Cusimano in 1999 at age 53. Cusimano was polished, respectable, and completely oblivious to Tony's criminal world, a portrait of suburban detachment. Leone's real life was more complicated. Though celebrated as a Tony-nominated actor and MCC Theater co-founder, he was described by colleagues as brilliant but ruthlessly competitive. There were murmurs of backstabbing within theater circles, scripts mysteriously rewritten, casting favors mysteriously lost. His relationship with sister Patti Leone was rumored to be tense, marked by rivalry and public jabs in interviews. His marriage weathered infidelity scandals in the 1990s, though never officially confirmed. Behind closed doors, Leone battled hypochondria and anxiety, reportedly clashing with producers over minor creative decisions. He masked fragility with arrogance, a trait that earned him both reverence and resentment. He succumbed to pancreatic cancer on August 27, 2022, at 76, leaving behind a respected career shadowed by whispered animosities and fragile egos. Robert Logia, born January 3, 1930, portrayed Feech Lamanna in 2004 at the age of 74, channeling his own gritty past into the role of an unrepentant ex-con unwilling to adapt to a new criminal order. In reality, Logia's life mirrored Feech's defiance. After a string of early film successes, Logia's career nosedived in the 1970s due to his open disdain for Hollywood politics and alleged on-set aggression. He was blacklisted by several studios after an explosive confrontation with a producer, reportedly throwing a script at him and storming off set. Known for a savage temper and heavy drinking, he once assaulted a director at a rap party, an incident that mysteriously never made the press. His comeback in Scarface and Big revived his image, but his health steadily declined in his final years. He died on December 4, 2015, at age 85 due to complications from Alzheimer's disease, leaving behind a legacy as both a screen legend and a Hollywood firebrand. Ron Leeman, born October 11, 1937, appeared in The Sopranos in 2006 as Dr. Leor Plepler at the age of 69. Plepler was a cutting, sharp-witted psychiatrist who challenged Dr. Melfi's ethics, reflecting Leeman's own lifelong defiance of norms. Despite winning a Tony for Angels in America and an Emmy for Kaz, his career was riddled with tension. He once stormed off a Broadway production after accusing the director of suffocating the art, and later blacklisted himself from several networks over diva-like demands. His marriage to Jessica Walter was long, but insiders described frequent screaming matches, with Leeman allegedly controlling both her roles and money. A former co-star once described him as brilliant but emotionally tyrannical, often pushing younger actors to tears during rehearsals. He disowned his 1980s flop Up the Academy, calling it a professional suicide note, and resented critics until his final years. He died on December 6, 2019, at age 82 from pneumonia. Frank Albanese, born May 16, 1931, portrayed Uncle Pat Blundetto in 2004 at age 73, a role that fit like a glove. Uncle Pat was a retired mobster with a quiet menace, emblematic of death's shadow over the past generation. Albanese's real-life blurred fiction and reality. He'd been a professional boxer, rumored to have mob ties himself in his early days, often acting as the real thing in mafia films like Goodfellas. Though never convicted, gossip followed him. Unpaid taxes, suspicious friendships, and alleged intimidation tactics during union negotiations in the 70s. A devout Catholic, he refused to discuss his private life, but neighbors spoke of violent shouting matches and a long-estranged son who disappeared from public records. Despite these murky details, he remained respected on set for his old-school professionalism. Albanese died from prostate cancer on October 5, 2015, at the age of 84, his final performance echoing the secrets he may have taken to the grave. Richard Romanis, born February 28, 1943, played Dr. Richard LaPena beginning in 1999 at the age of 56. LaPena was the cold, dismissive ex-husband of Dr. Melfi, offering an intellectual but emotionally stunted foil to her compassion. Romanis's career stretched from Scorsese's Mean Streets to cult voice roles in heavy metal, yet by the late 90s, he was increasingly isolated from Hollywood. His exile to Greece in 2004 wasn't just for peace, it was partly to escape what insiders whispered was an unmanageable temperament. Romanis was notorious for creative disputes, even being banned from a voice studio after threatening a director. Though married to actress Anthea Silbert, he was described by former colleagues as controlling and prone to silent treatment punishments. Behind his literary turn in Greece were years of therapy and a spiritual crisis sparked by a bitter fallout with his brother, actor Robert Romanis. He passed away on December 23, 2023, in Volos, Greece, at age 80. Tony Soprano, born May 14, 1967, brought an explosive charisma to Frankie Cortez in 2004 at the age of 37. Frankie was a muscle-bound bodyguard, a role mirroring Soprano's past as an NFL enforcer. Nicknamed the Goose, he was a fan favorite on the field, but his post-NFL life was riddled with excess. Behind the scenes of his media success with man caves and Fox Sports, insiders whispered about his reckless spending, volatile temperament, and alleged substance abuse, rumors his handlers worked hard to suppress. He'd been sued by business partners over shady restaurant dealings and had multiple altercations with producers over his off-the-cuff, often offensive humor. At home, his party lifestyle put strain on his marriage, though he kept a public image of the jovial family man. His sudden death in his sleep on June 22, 2022, at age 55, believed to be a heart attack, stunned fans, but to those close to him, it was a tragic end long feared. Vinnie Vela, born January 11, 1947, took on the role of Jimmy Petril in The Sopranos in 1999 at age 52. Jimmy was a slick, calculating associate who lurked in the political shadows of the mob, always one step ahead yet never truly trusted. Vela, a street icon in Little Italy, embraced the gangster image both on and off screen, starring in Casino and becoming a neighborhood fixture. But behind his brash charm was a man frequently entangled in controversy. In 2008, he made headlines for a bizarre lottery ticket dispute, claiming a neighbor cheated him out of winnings. He was also known for clashes on set and self-aggrandizing behavior, once demanding rewrites to give himself more lines. Vela's personal life was no less chaotic. He fathered several children but maintained a distant relationship with most, with one son publicly calling him a ghost in our lives. Vela had a reputation for gambling debts and was rumored to have threatened a film producer over unpaid dues. He died on February 20, 2019, at age 72 from liver cancer. Sylvia Cotter, born December 1, 1921, portrayed Mrs. Conti in 1999 at age 78, a brief but memorable role as a tough-talking neighborhood matron. Late to acting, Cotter began her career after age 60, escaping a life in public relations and Philadelphia politics. But beneath her charming roles was a woman haunted by a double life. For decades, she lived separately from her husband, quietly dating a younger artist half her age while concealing it from her family. She was fired from a theater board after exposing corruption, but was later accused of misusing funds herself, though no charges were filed. Despite her sweet on-screen persona, those who worked with her described her as ruthless behind the curtain, fiercely gatekeeping roles for her close circle. She often bragged about leveraging political connections to bypass auditions. While her scandal never made tabloids, she left behind a legacy far messier than her charming exterior suggested. She died on May 5, 2016, at age 94 from a heart attack. Paul Mazursky, born April 25, 1930, appeared in The Sopranos in 2000 as Sunshine, a cheeky poker dealer at age 70. Though a brief cameo, it mirrored his offbeat charm. Mazursky was revered for directing introspective, relationship-driven films like An Unmarried Woman and Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice, but few knew how bitter his later years became. Once a Hollywood darling, he was gradually edged out by studios who found his scripts too Jewish, too wordy, leading to fierce public feuds with execs. He clashed with Dustin Hoffman during Enemies, a love story, and was rumored to have leaked a rival director's private emails in retaliation for being passed over. His marriage endured infidelities, and he quietly settled a sexual harassment claim in 1994 involving a casting assistant, an incident buried before the #MeToo movement. His final years were filled with rants against modern Hollywood and bitter loneliness. He died on June 30, 2014, at age 84 from cardiac arrest. Who is your favorite character in The Sopranos? How do you feel knowing that the actors have passed away? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much.